right.
See that?
Yes. All right, that is live. That is live. Excellent. All right, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to the first of our Week 2 doubleheader. First is the number 18, UCLA, at number 3, Washington State, followed up by a user game of the University of Houston, coached by Coach Cwac, against the number 23 Penn State, coached by myself, Coach Ninja. But first, to the first game of our doubleheader, let's take a quick look at number 18 UCLA, starting Chad McDonald at quarterback. 95, that is a 90 speed. That is a fast quarterback. With a very good first game. .139 yards for the impact player, Carl Matthews, their number 1 receiver. 34 yards for the number 2, 32 yards for the number 3. And 40 yards for a not great tight end. But plenty of yards for their fullback. Indeed. 82, 83 on the left side, 73 center. That's poor. Yeah, that's fine for a freshman. It is not good for a starting player in the pack. But that is. He's got some backup from the 320-pound to 93 rated Zach Gordon at right guard. And as mediocre as the left side of that line is, the right side of the line is very good. And it's a fantastic left end. Yeah. And a good but not amazing right end. And that's a one good D tackle, but behind that, that's no depth. They have to play a 3-man front. Yeah. And then a 90 right outside. If you can get to Patrick Harris, that is another vulnerability of the UCLA team. But he's got some help there from Mr. Dunbar. Mm-hmm. Not a huge amount of leg distance there. You probably do want to spend your coaching perks.
Nope.
Not even the OC one? Two-time Heisman winner. Is this the first game of the season for Washington State? It is. I entirely forgot. So yes, Vincent Vega, two-time Heisman winner, 95 rated senior at Washington State with a 91 speed. Very, very fast man. Does not have a cannon for an arm, so has to throw the deep ball and let his receivers adjust to where it's going to be. He can do a lot, but he can't quite do everything. Pauly Shore, Washington State's running game steadily improved over the years as the offensive line has improved and as they've been able to. Yeah, and so finally in a solid place offensive line helps the running game, helps with the other elements of the game, especially with Eric Estrada as an 83 senior, 99 awareness. That's going to be a very good blocker when he comes out into the backfield. And a whole cadre there of stellar receivers played by the most villainous villains ever to villain, Jason Voorhees, Ryan Leaf, and Ernst Blofeld. And his Blofeld first year as a starter as a junior, very, very quick, very fast. Speed is what he's about. Yeah, he's going to have fantastic for speed routes. Antonio Vivaldi, receiving tight end, very good awareness, but very good catching. Definitely a receiving tight end, which is good for Washington State. Yeah. Freshman 79 at left tackle. This is a weakness, but not a huge problem. It's just about serviceable. Particularly because he is a freshman, and because he got back up there from John Lee Hooker at an 87. That's gonna help out. That's gonna help out the left tackle. And Rodney Yates is another guy who's going to do a lot of help. He's going to hold the center of that line by himself very well at 96. Another good guard. He's a senior, 84. Took him a lot of time to get there. Same with Eddie Cochran. But now that they are at 84, they're good. And they're gonna play well. They're gonna keep a solid offensive front there for Vince Vega to pass behind and for Pauly Shore to run behind. Yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire at left end there. Earth, Wind, and he's a very promising sophomore at 84 already. I think some of his friends just call him Dan. Yep, Jimmy Buffett there as the right end, who's gonna be a solid defensive bulwark with that power. And Al Green at defensive end, backed up by Barry White, both very good D tackles. They should have plenty of confidence in having a four-man front, especially with a 94 strength. Alanitis slides over from middle to play left outside linebacker this year, taking a bit of a hit at awareness, but he's still an 85 because there's a lot of talent there. And he's making space for Danny Glover. I'm sorry, I saw D Glover. To play middle linebacker. He's a sophomore. He's gonna learn quickly and be a be a very good team. And good afternoon, Coach Cwac. We are, of course, looking forward to our game later on, but we're right now looking at Washington State as it is their first game of the season. So we're giving a quick overview of the team. Right outside linebacker, Mel Gibson. Of course, right next to Danny Glover, despite the fact that he really wanted to play wide receiver. But no, he had to play with Danny Glover, who is not too old for the shit yet. But in 2 years, he will graduate. Strength of the team is that cornerback core. I think there's no reason for Washington State ever really, except maybe in goal line, to not be bringing 3 corners onto the field. They are fantastic. Cwac, Ginsberg, and London. James Joyce, 96. Again, fantastic. And at strong safety, Javier Bardem, the weakness of the secondary, at 88 overall. And Petey Pablo there as the kicker, finally in a position to kick instead of Kendrick Lamar, although yes, Lamar will be coming on when that extra 5 yards is needed. All right, and now that we've taken a look at Washington State, I think it's time to get this show on the road. Offensive coordinator. I understand you're saving the head coaching ones, but there's no reason not to spend the OC. Yeah. Yeah. So coach is explaining to me. So as if he needs to, there's a couple of different options. If it looks like they're coming into a really big game, and he might want the one with the 21 here that says the big game because it's a rivalry or something, he can do that. If he decides it's a big game but that doesn't trigger the rivalry conditions, he can take the flame there. For a user game would take the flame and use that to get the better timeouts. Or in recruiting he might need the lockout perk to go after a guy he's going to get shut out of, or at the end of the season he might need to put all 3 into the signing day in order to lock down somebody at the end of the season. So he's saving these 3 points of head coaching for flexibility, but there's no reason not to go over and spend the offensive coordinator perk. So very good coordinators at both positions. The lucky bastard not having level 0 guys this year. God, I'm so pissed that my defense coordinator is level 0.
Yeah, I'm one of the people that knows what it's like to get fucked by the computer.
In that
carousel.
Yeah.
A couple of times, like I've been fucked over.
Yeah, you've been given 2 level 0s at the same time. I remember, but it's just like, and the man got fired from Florida. How do you not have levels after being the head coach at Florida? Maybe you lose your levels when you're fired. Going dark. Good luck with your game. All right, the best of UCLA there. That quarterback, left end, and right guard, all above 90s. Interesting. T. Pratt. Do we remember which wide receiver he was? When we have rain today, that should be an interesting game for the pass-heavy Washington State, with not a heavy amount of rain, but definitely rain. Yeah, so coach noting that while it can make things a little bit slippery, with the ball, in general, quarterbacks do love the rain because it makes it a lot harder on the defensive backs than it does for the wide receivers. The wide receivers know and prepare for when they're going to cut, and the more radical and difficult turns that the defensive backs have to make, that's where you see more of the slippage. So we'll see how this affects UCLA and the stellar secondary of Washington State. What is it?
Very Kafka-esque.
Solid kick there from Petey Pablo, just a 1 yard in the end zone. And a good recovery there to get the blocker up. UCLA coming out with 3 wide receivers and 2 backs, including their fullback. Remember that their fullback is an 81. Using a fullback, not very common in the Pac-12, but with a talent like they've got, it's totally worth it for them. And you could tell by the swarm to the middle there that Coach Spectre called an inside run, that he expected it on defense. He committed to it, and then the backup, the secondary players there with the gang tackle to make the yard for loss after the core 7 guys, the front 7, bottled up inside running lanes. Once again, team tackling the second and third man, making sure that the pitch man doesn't make a lot of forward progress, only really makes lateral progress there, make it third and very long. And as we see UCLA make the screen pass for long yardage. Thankfully, another good tackle against the run keeps keeps Washington State doing well at 2nd and long.
Catches it. A little laundry on the field, and we'll find out whose it is.
Holding offense.
An offensive hold negates the big gain that would have made it 3rd and easy. It is now 2nd and 20 thanks to the hold. Coach taking a quick look at his formation subs. Considering what he's doing with Earth Wind Dan and Jimmy and some of his other players. Looks like he's moved Alan Alda and put a cornerback or a safety in the linebacker position.
He's only a cornerback in name. He's an athlete. He's super strong. He's got 86 tackles.
All right. And who is that you put in? He's put Jack London, who is a cornerback in name, but is originally an athlete, very, very strong, very, very athletic for a cornerback, and he's put him in the linebacker position in order to get the speed that you just witnessed there to force that pass. And now we're on a 3rd and very long.
Everybody says this kid's a real deal. We're about ready to find out.
The blocking there stumbled the defense and causes the screen to go for another good yardage. But this time, Jack London gets in the backfield, prevents the big gain, making it still 2nd and 5. This time the tackle is missed in the backfield, and Adam Harris stands up his defender and marches into the end zone. What? Yeah. 2 screens on that drive really being the thing that puts the yardage in.
And he hits the PAT. An 8-play, 71-yard drive. And the result, 7 points.
And Brad, you're going to move the ball well when you're able to execute the pass game like that. Those big plays eventually going to lead you to touchdowns.
Oh no, there it is. All right, and now Washington State will have the ball for their first possession.
He kicks it off, and he got all of that one. He makes it to the 15-yard line. Washington State's offense really centered around this
UCLA clearly having the momentum in the first quarter here, but we're not very far in the game. The amount of momentum that they have isn't huge yet. Just the edge.
You can do that as a quarterback and as a leader of an offense. You're going to move the football down the field.
The quarterback brings his troops out onto the field for the first drive of the game. Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. Throws complete. He's got space to work.
We see the classic drag route. Great start from Washington State, though. You saw that when he made the reception, he looked upfield and began to move in that direction, and then saw that he had a blocker and tried to run outside the blocker. Probably at least got himself maybe another yard and a half out of that. As now Vincent Vega runs the option for 20 yards and spins into a tackle. With too much coverage and too many foes in the backfield, Vincent Vega throws it away.
Make quicker decisions, and especially when the defense starts to get pressure, you've got to either get rid of that football or check it down or take off and run with it. Scrambling around. Tries to
to thread the needle, and it's not going to work. Spectacular play there by the linebacker to come away with that interception.
Athletic play from the very big linebacker there, throwing into coverage.
From their own 34-yard line. First down. UCLA is up a score. And he's tackled right away. And now he's got room to run to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown, UCLA.
UCLA clearly with all of the momentum now. Wide open running lanes. Secondary got tied up doing something else. And now have a dominant momentum position at a 2-score lead with 3:33 left to go in the first. So plenty of time for Washington State. They've just got to be diligent.
He really got a hold of that kick. Heading for the corner. Oh, man, did he take a hit. UCLA is really excited to watch this guy grow with this defense. That was his first tackle, but I guarantee you he's got hundreds more coming. It's not quite a blowout, but unless they do something here, it might turn into one.
Come on, it's a bit early for that.
He's tackled right around the 20. There's a player hurt. It doesn't look to be that bad.
Early run there from Eric Estrada, but a little injury. We'll see
Second and 8.
what's going on.
Ball on their own 20. 5 wide. He scrambled. Washington State's got a guy behind center that can really do it all, Herbie. I mean, he's a dual threat. He can hurt you with his feet and his arm. With this guy, it's PYP. Pick your poison. The Cougars had one of their key guys go down earlier.
No fullback until the third quarter. Not a huge debilitating injury, but a loss.
Now he's scrambling. Under heavy pressure. And they make the stop right around the 24-yard line. He must not
Defense
be anybody
of
over that play.
Washington State, Washington State, UCLA, clearly very, very fast as
Take a toll on him eventually.
they are forced to punt. Washington State is forced to
Here's
punt.
the deep man awaiting the return. Gets it away. It's low.
An excellent return gives UCLA very strong field position.
I think all you can call it is scary.
Well, they can attack you in so many different ways. They have a quarterback right now that's getting the ball out of his hands and making great decisions, and they have playmakers all over the field. This offense is tough to stop.
They'll bring him down to the 35-yard line.
This time the run gets stopped after only 2 yards. Another example of gang tackling from Washington State. Helped by keying on McKinney.
You know, at that point, I think, Brad, the quarterback's
And with defenders getting into the backfield, getting near the feet of the quarterback, forcing a bad throw.
throw the ball just to throw the ball. If you feel like you're not going to be able to make a
Getting a good down and distance at 3rd and 8 for Washington State now.
Down, and they need to get it to the 27. He's going to try and scramble. They'll make the sack.
sometimes
The coverage makes it so that makes the sack possible. Fourth and 11. We'll see what UCLA does here in a bit of no man's land. Looks like they're going for the long field goal.
So it's 4th down. They'll line it up for a very long field goal attempt.
From the
It's up. And it's wide left. No good.
that'll help. It'll take a dent out of the momentum. They might be at 95 or 90 instead of 100 now, but that's a dent nonetheless, and it's a decent field position for Washington State to begin their next drive with.
They could easily fall out of the game.
As we see a run again on first down from Washington State. This is new this year, but 5 yards for Pauly Shore shows that the run is being productive.
the 42-yard line.
As we now see a split big from Washington State. As Ernst Blofeld gets 5 yards to get 3rd and inches on the quarterback keeper out of the split big. Split big has 2 halfbacks and 2 tight ends. So despite being a shotgun, it is a heavy running formation. And now we see the 3rd quarterback of this game, John McClain.
They'll take it inside, but the defense is ready.
Alan Rickman gets stuffed for 0 yards on 3rd and inches.
McKinney, the return man. Punts away. This one's like a line drive.
Confident in his defense to turn this around, Coach Spectre does not spend one of his precious 4th down attempts, despite it only being inches.
See what happens on this next drive.
And clearly we see why with the 5-yard sack from Jack London there, really throwing the quarterback of UCLA head over heels. As we now begin to see Washington State figuring out at least some of UCLA's offense.
Welcome back here. We resume action now here in the second quarter. That's a great tackle at the 14. The halfback picks up a yard.
The delayed handoff, draw or something like it, gets stuffed for a short gain there. And as this time, the defenders of Washington State read the screen very well.
So the offense might want to consider that next time they try that play.
Oh yeah, he's a 92 D tackle. He's going to do a lot of work for you. 4th and 19, forcing the punt from the 9-yard line should be solid field position for Washington State. And now, as we saw that, perfectly good and smart reasoning for Coach Spectre to let his defense take a whack
London fields at the 50, and he's taken down at the
as he
46-yard line.
starts in the no man's land, where it's a bit too short to punt and a bit too long to kick the field goal, but it's good field position for the start of a drive. 46 yards to pay dirt.
It was a pretty one-sided first quarter, but I wouldn't be surprised if things changed in a big way before halftime.
We see another option from Washington State, this time handing off to Pauly Shore, and he runs it for 8 yards through some pretty wide open lanes there from Washington State's offensive line. Pauly Shore again, this time with a reception to a slightly covered receiver there, despite the drag route being wide open on the left.
From the 32-yard line, it's first down. And they've got the dime package in there to try and deal with this 5-receiver look. He's scrambling, and he just gets rid of it.
Close man coverage there on the middle slant, and the left end getting free negated both the early passes and the scramble. That is usually the alternative to those quick passes, like the drag, which was well covered. Yeah. But Vivaldi there with the reception to make it third and manageable, and also well within field goal range.
it's third down now, and they're going to need about 4.
Another pass to the tight end Vivaldi, this time for 15 yards on the play action. This is, I expect, to be even more of a part of Washington State's game than we've seen in the past, despite it always being part of their game plan. Play action is a bit weaker when you don't have a running game to speak of. But now with a running game, that's going to help the play action even more, as excellent blocking gets the extra 4 yardage for Antonio Vivaldi. Got 4 more yards because of that block by the wide receiver, making it 1st and goal.
It's first down, and they'll be looking for 6 points here.
As the ball gets torn out of Pauly Shore's hand on the audible to the middle slant there. 2nd and goal again from the 1-yard line.
That brings up a 2nd and goal. Ball on the 1-yard line. They'll spread the field with 5 wide. He's in trouble. Gets it to his receiver.
Gets it out of his hands just as the big alligator jaws of that defensive end were coming right for him. That was all.
Vincent Vega, our man in Amsterdam.
Fight, fight, fight for Washington State. Win the victory. Win the day for Crimson and Gray. Best in the West, we know you'll all do your best. So on, fight till the end. Honor and glory you must win. So fight, fight, fight for Washington State and victory.
Well, I think the play warranted a review, but the call on the field stands.
And with that extra point, Washington State makes it a 1-score game. And yeah, clearly it just wanted, thought he deserved the replay for aesthetic reasons. Bringing that dial of momentum back towards neutral for Washington State. Now, once again, going to put it in the hands of their defense and see if they can't get a stop out of it, as we see UCLA coming out with a tight end, one of their weakest offensive players, the tight end. I don't know if that was a design quarterback run that got eaten alive. Yeah, Al Green, he is having a hell of a game. He's going to be an important part of the defense for the rest of the year. I can see that.
So it's 2nd and 12. Ball on the 23.
We've always had to push from the linebacker position, and now we're going to add interior penetration from the D-tackle.
Yeah, well, and not only that, it's one of those things with the secondary that you've got. Or you can also with the secondary and line linebackers you've got, the 3-man front, the quarter, the 3-3-5. All of these things are much more viable for you with Green in there, especially since I already gave you a playbook for the 3-3-5. No, it's definitely a personnel package that you've got the ability to work with this year. As Yeah, definitely a great 3 and out there. Again, eating into the momentum. If it's not at if it's not at neutral by now, we'll see what happens with this excellent field position on their own 40-something. But an excellent run moves it right onto UCLA's side of the field.
It's 2nd and 5 here. Ball on the 46. The sub package in there defensively.
3-man front. Coach doesn't like the look. Calls an audible.
Now he tries to buy some time. The cavalry's coming.
Goes for the scramble and loses a yard.
47.
In order to avoid the hit, as we've seen, that UCLA defensive end is coming.
From the 47.
He is bringing the heat consistently.
They come out in a 5-wide set.
3rd and 5.
He's on the run. He's under some heat.
Boy, that hurts the offense to have to go 3 and out. You're going to have to think about how to get something going the next time they come out.
Washington State forced to punt there after the 2 incompletions. And the incompletion and the scramble. Scramble, incompletion, whatever.
There's a punt. It's a line drive. That was a nice little pooch kick right there.
Coach caddy quartering that in order to prevent the return, ensure that, tough field position for UCLA just before the 2-minute drill.
UCLA up 7 points.
Despite the late hit to the quarterback, no penalty. Well, it wasn't really late. It was on time, but the reception is made nonetheless. Clearly, Washington State not yet all the way with the momentum in their favor. Now, as Jack London times his jump to the snap well, gets into the backfield, isn't able to make the tackle, but slows him down long enough to prevent any gain. UCLA spending a lot of time with only 1:30 left to go in the half.
Quick throw out to the receiver. He's pushed out of bounds. Right around the 40. From their own 40-yard line. First down.
Javier Bardem very close there with the deflection to both stop the clock and take UCLA to 2nd and 10.
They'll line up with 5 wide receivers.
Coach Spectre takes a real risk there by committing to trying to get the tackle on the screen pass. Ball gets thrown away rather than thrown, which really is a blessing with the number of bodies that were around the quarterback instead of around the receiver. But they get a tight pass and continue moving the ball down the field in good time with a minute left to go at midfield. Chad McDonald, 9 out of 12 for 120 yards.
Makes the catch and look out.
London very close to the shoestring tackle there, but the catch is again made. Matthews really is working magic in this 2-minute drill for them.
And this is the 8th play of the drive. Just throws this one away.
This time the screen just blown up from the get-go, throws the ball away. 52 seconds left to go. The ball on the 34-yard line.
They come out in an empty backfield.
And pressure makes the ball go into no man's land. 3rd and 10.
Sometimes you don't get a great grip on the ball, and it comes out a little wobbly.
He's going to air it long. This one's intercepted. It's the junior safety.
This quarterback better start making better decisions in the passing game. Otherwise, this corner will come up with even more picks in the future.
Switching to the quarter, the 3-man front, knowing that he's got Al Green there. They get an excellent coverage on all the receivers and come in for the pick. Now starting 41 seconds in their own 7-yard line. We'll see how aggressive Washington State is here.
From their own 7-yard line. First down.
Once again in the split big. Ernst Blofeld holds on to it and makes no progress. Washington State calls a timeout.
That's their first of the half. There's a strike complete.
This time the play action completes to Vivaldi again, this time for 22 yards and out of bounds, stopping the clock. So that was a very good play for Washington State. Still only with 117 yards this game. As Voorhees is open over the middle of the field for an easy 4 verticals. Moving into UCLA's territory again, split bit. Oh, no, sorry. I stand corrected. That was a spike to stop the clock, 21 seconds.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 47. They'll spread the field here. Let's see what the defense does with a 5-wide outlook. Scrambling around.
This time the defender is inside of Voorhees rather than outside of Voorhees, making that long pass way too risky. Instead, coach stops the clock by going out of bounds and takes the 3rd down. 3rd and manageable.
They need about 3 yards to get the first down here on 3rd down. The Cougars call a timeout. That's their second of the half.
Comes out in the Wildcat, doesn't like the look for what he's called, has the timeout to spare because he ran out of bounds instead of sliding on the previous down and spiking earlier.
And they make the stop at the 33.
Voorhees with the first down stops the clock for a bit as we see the spike before this clock starts moving again. Now at the 33-yard line with 12 seconds, 1 timeout.
It's the 9th play of the drive. 5 out wide. He's going to try and scramble. Under pressure. He gets rid of this one.
Good job here by the defense. If you let this quarterback set and throw, he'll kill you all game. But they got excellent pressure on that play.
UCLA defensive end forcing the throwaway.
He's affecting a huge part of my offense.
Really affecting the offense and the offensive ability to execute plays that are the bread and butter of the Washington State offense. So 6 seconds left, 10 yards to first down.
Now he's scrambling to the end zone. Missed it.
Doesn't get the pick. Is that Jack London playing wide receiver as well?
Just in one formation.
Interesting. 1 second. Gonna go for the very long field goal.
It's fourth down. They'll line it up for a very long field goal attempt. Washington State's out of timeouts.
That's a 50. He can make a 50.
Well, which guy is it? Is it?
It's going to be probably. We call the timeout because we're going to put the punter in, but he can make a 50. Come on. He's got 93 power. You're the kicker. We're trying to make you All-American for the third time in 4 years.
The kick is up.
Kick is good to bring Washington State within 4 at halftime.
14-10. Bruin.
Yep.
Glad to have you with us in the studio for the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show, presented by Nissan. Innovation that's Reese Davis and Davis
You'll excuse us for a second while we take a quick break for halftime. Coach wants to yell at his team, and this broadcaster wants to go to the little boys' room.
There's a problem. Somebody needs to hit the guy. Somebody needs to be a little physical. Somebody needs to be
Indeed, as coaches noted, as I've been mentioning, that defense is making him do work. Vincent Vega can't do all of the things he he usually likes to do. And yeah, I mean that even for example, the 19 9 out of 17 passing attempts on Washington State's behalf is not usually what their numbers are, but I think it's worth noting that after their first couple of possessions, or maybe no, I looked and I saw that they were at one point in time 6 running plays and 4 passing plays. So this is a different Washington State team. And I think if we're looking at the 11 attempted rushes and the 17 attempted passes, well, 6 of those attempted passes are all from that 1 minute drill at the end of the second quarter, and that puts it at about 11 and 11 between runs and passes, and that's a lot more even than we've ever seen Washington State as regards to the ratio of runs to passes. I think that's definitely a new wrinkle in Washington State as we get ready to kick off the second half. Coach back from his yelling session with his team and noting the same thing that both Mr. Barker and Mr. Cwac were noting about needing about the speed and defensiveness of this game.
Great first half and a tight ball game, and we're set to start quarter number 3. He just drills this one. He's to the 10. Heading for the corner. He's to the 20. At the 30.
And an excellent return from Jason Voorhees puts Washington State in prime position to begin their drive at the beginning of the third and have now finally a shot at taking the lead.
This deficit can be easily overcome, sure. But they have to be thinking if they don't get something going on this series, the burden is going to be felt by their defense.
That's an okay.
Coach looked had to take a moment there at the line, was confused as to what exactly the formation was that he was against, realized it was an Okie, stayed with his play call, and passed to Pauly Shore for good yardage.
Short yardage situation here. It's 2nd down and 1.
This time, handoff to Shore, and gets the first down. Goes to Shore for the 3rd time in a row, this time for a 0-yard reception. Was that a screen? No, it's just something else that he was well covered on.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on the 47-yard line.
This time to Pauly Shore in the flat on what looked like a Z spot for -2 yards. now 3rd and 11 for Washington State.
Down now. They need to get it down to the 38s. So an empty backfield with 5 wide receivers. He airs it out.
Jack London holds on to the ball for the big gain on 3rd down. Big offensive play into coverage when he needed it. The other thing that this is going to do is it's going to force them to play not only London on the right sideline, but whoever's on the left sideline as well, and could give more freedom to the 2 guys in the middle playing the slots out of the 5 wide.
Big gain resulting from the pass play leaves us with a 1st and 10.
As once again we see both defensive ends, it looks like this time with UCLA, getting back into the pocket, making Vincent Vega flee and throw the ball away. Another good angle route to Pauly Shore into an empty area behind the defensive line makes 2nd and long turn into 3rd and approachable.
This is the 8th play of this drive.
And this time, Vincent Vega can't get out of there in time. Gives up the sack.
4th down. They'll call on the field goal unit here.
And coach plays it conservative. Kicks the field goal to come within 1 point. Still a whole quarter and a half actually, left to go. So considering how well the defense has held UCLA since their first 2 drives, plenty of time for Washington State to do what they need to do. Indeed. Being with and coach of course notes that being within 1, even if UCLA scores, they're still within the 2-point conversion. So it's a 1 possession game, even if UCLA scores a touchdown. But they're off to a great start as McKinney gets caught in the backfield by Jimmy Buffett. I mean, maybe if you played the end instead of playing the
UCLA with a 1-point lead. McKinney gets another handoff. Gets out to around the 38.
Indeed, McKinney consistently being able to escape pretty bad situations. But London gets bounced to the outside, but Earth Winden comes in because everybody was there in order to force everybody committed to the right side and left Earth Winden wide open. Now third and very long. Earth Winden doesn't get the sack, but forces him to throw it away, causing the punt.
Chase is the punter. He's to the 40. He's taken down at the 42-yard line.
A solid return from London as Washington State begins the ball on their own 42.
There's still plenty of time to keep running their offense as usual. This 5-1.
Washington State gives UCLA a new look out of the 5-wide tray and a new routes in order to keep them guessing when they bring 5 wide receivers onto the field. Shotgun run with a spread tight end from Washington State there. Pauly Shore not able to get past his own offensive lineman, but they're able to establish the line of scrimmage such that it's downfield. Drag route, this time with Vivaldi, gets outside his defender and is good for 3 yards.
Second and 7. Ball on the 42. Slings it out there incomplete.
I know this quarterback trusts his arm and his receivers, but he's got to know when not to throw the ball. He didn't have any room at all, and he's lucky it wasn't intercepted.
Voorhees dropping the ball on the timing route, had a first down, but had a defender draped on his back.
Now he tries to buy some time. Under pressure.
The shovel pass from Vega turned something into nothing there. Vincent Vega not able to escape the second and third man, but threw off the first man, changed -5 to -1. Definitely a big deal. Even though he could not escape the coverage there now that it and the fourth quarter begins.
He splits the uprights for the extra point. A 9-play, 57-yard drive. And the result, 7 points. The score now, 20-14. Washington State is ready to kick it away. He sends this one deep. And it goes into the end zone, down for a touchback. For Washington State, their pass rush has really been impressive today, Kirk. This defense has been bringing the blitz and is having success getting to him. With a narrow advantage, the defense is pumping up this crowd, trying to get them to help out. Here we are early in the fourth quarter in a very, very tight ball game. And every possession is going to count from here on out. He's hit and taken down.
Very close to the pick there with the
Did you unwrap the ball cards before you put them in?
Their own 39. He gets out to about the 42-yard line.
the missed tackle from London, but another defender's there to prevent the big gain, make it 3rd and 7.
They'll bring him down at the 38-yard line. Got it. And he goes down quickly. Takes the handoff. Tackled for a loss.
Tackle for loss makes 2nd and short, 3rd and long.
Knocked out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
Washington State not able to get to the quarterback fast enough, and it gets a first down there.
gets out to about the 12-yard line.
Washington State able to put a lot of defenders in the backfield, stop that run. And UCLA is going to go for it on 4th and 4.
It's 4th down, and they're going to try to go for it. He's on the run. Now he's going to run and watch out. He's brought down.
And the scrambling quarterback makes the first down. Wide open receiver in the back corner. Touchdown, UCLA. 4 minutes, 32 seconds left in the game.
It was absolutely the right call in that situation.
The kicker on the field. He'll try to put his team up by a point. And he hits the PAT. Reese Davis is standing by with this update. Reese?
The Commodores come into this one ranked 24. The Blazers hammer that running game and score a touchdown. We've got a tie game here, knotted up at 24.
Upset special happens every year. Maybe it's one of those weeks.
We'll see what Washington State can bring now that they are once again down by 1. 4.5 minutes left to go.
He's to the 20, and he makes it out to about the 21-yard.
Decent return there from really an excellent kick by UCLA.
Back and forth. It's almost like watching a tennis match here. Whoever has the ball last, my guess will be the team that wins it.
Things aren't tied, but they
Question is, of course, looking at the time and looking at how explosive we know Washington State to be, how fast are they trying to score?
Pressure coming. He's out to the 30. Slides down to the
For maybe the first time this game, Washington State's Vincent Vega is able to outrun the defenders of UCLA, scramble and slides for the first down. Indeed, Cwac, but in the past we've also known Coach Spectre to be super aggressive, and you know, if he could score in under a minute, give them back the ball with 3:30, and count on the defense to stop and get another possession, so he'd have another minute and a half, and I've known him to try and do that kind of move as well in the past, but with these running plays, I'm not sure that that's what he's going for, especially given the defensive quality of this game. Second and 4 after a solid outside the tackles run.
pick up the first. Caught with room to work.
Eric Estrada back in the game, steps a foot out of bounds, sacrificing the first down there. With Washington State bringing the I formation back into their playbook
They need about 3
to make the run game work.
First down here on 3rd down. They'll spread the field with 5 wide. Now he's scrambling.
Has to wait for Voorhees to get outside the defenders to get the first down, right standing in the jaws of those defensive ends.
Just under 3 to go in regulation. Up the middle for a nice game.
Pauly Shore there with a very good down for Washington State. 5 yards on first down from the run. Keeps the clock moving. Keeps them in, a good pace as we begin to look at the 2-minute warning in just a second.
From the 37-yard line, second down. He's going to try and scramble. Quarterback's going to run it, and he's got room to work. He's out of bounds at the 25.
Coach, seeing the coverage, not liking anything, and for the first time in a while, it's not that he outran the defensive ends this time. They were actually tied up for once. Gave him the opportunity to run and to stop the clock by running out of bounds. On the 25-yard line, in field goal range, minute 53 left to go, first and 10.
Gains around 6 yards on the option play right there.
Coach making the point that a field goal with 1 second left is better than a touchdown right now.
They're about 4 yards away here on second down. They come out in an empty backfield. Quick strike to the receiver. And that sets them up with a
First and goal, 1 minute 11. But it's not a short first and goal. It's a 7 yards first and goal. And they got 4 downs. The clock is moving. UCLA hasn't stopped the clock yet.
Play of the drive. Under a minute left.
Pauly Shore making sure to hold on to the ball, putting 2 hands on it, and quite happy not to get the touchdown. Still has to call 1 play because the play clock is ahead of the game clock.
This is the 11th play of this drive.
As Pauly Shore walks into the end zone for the touchdown for Washington State to take the lead with 0:07 left on the clock. Coach looking at his options for going for 2 here to make it a full 7-point lead. Voorhees catches the ball but gets tackled short.
They're lined up to kick, and they might just kick it short and prevent a long return.
Petey Pablo puts it on the letters, and McKinney takes the knee. They'll get maybe 2 plays.
Late in the 4th quarter in a 1-possession game. And poise is what it's all about here. Who's going to have it and who won't?
steps out of bounds in order to make sure that they get one more chance at the end zone.
From their own 23-yard line, it's second down. So this is it right here. One last play and one last chance to win the game. If they can get the Hail Mary.
And the sack ends the game. Oh, no, doesn't end the game. They call a timeout. They have one more attempt. That is an incredibly fast sack.
I'm getting a hold of my offensive line, making sure these guys are on the same page, and they've got to take more pride in taking care of their quarterback than that play right there.
And that's the game. Against a good UCLA team after an early 2-score deficit. All right.
I'm Brad Nessler saying so long.
Indeed, you did.
I gotta say we're pleased with that one. They gave us a heck of a fight. They came out with a 14-0 lead. They busted a couple of early screens that we were just so close on, but not able to get. The first drive was two 40-yard screens, and they had all the momentum from that point. We had some fourth downs that we could have gone for, but we saved our fourth downs. I don't think we went for a single fourth down. So that'll come in handy. We were able to survive not going for fourth. And aside from that, I'll say this: the run game was a lot better. Our D tackle, number 91, Al Green, was beastly in the interior. And you look at our penetration; it wasn't just from the edges this time. Our defense, after the early surge, when our offense was faltering after the interception, our defense kept us in the ball game and won us the ball game. And kept them at 14 points for three quarters, essentially. So I thought that the defense, once we made the switch with London, the defense woke up, and from that point on, it was just a matter of being smart and respecting our opponent, knowing what they were good at. Just felt like we did a good job of. I enjoyed the growth in the running game. I think the running game is stronger than it was last year, and we look forward to a more balanced attack this year. I think Vega, his skills were kind of curtailed. If you want to have a recipe to attack Vega, have a ridiculously dominant left end that completely takes over the right side of the entire field, and have a couple of quick linebackers to where you can have balanced personnel on the field and have speed and tackling. It was a good matchup. It was a team designed to beat us, and we're glad to survive it.
bear with us as we get set up for game 2. This is a user match between myself and Cwac.
EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, we're going to take a quick second here to look at Penn State and Houston, and then we'll get into the game. So, depth chart: James Williams. Great awareness. I mean, solid speed. 99 quarterback. He should be doing well, but he had an accuracy problem last game up until the fourth quarter. Let's see if we can't get him started faster. Kyle Harrison returning at halfback. He's great. We love him. Ricky Carter is the fullback. He's in here in the second position in order to automatically get him into the splits. So it's Harrison and Carter in the split, but really the second halfback is Ernst Britt. As I said, this is Ricky Carter, our fullback. He's excellent. Wide receivers, Hickman, the best, but also Jeremy Johnson and freshman Chris Howell, both very good players, but really being rounded out in the receiving corps by the 99 Chris Robinson at tight end. And we see here Cole Robinson, another example of doing some funky things with our depth chart. Chris Howell is in at the second tight end, so that when we come in with 2 tight ends, we have a very fast receiver in for that second tight end position. Offensive line is 85, 91, 84, 83, 87. Not amazing, but good, which is where you have to be at a minimum in the Big Ten. Defensive ends are 89 and 87. Again, really good, not amazing. D tackle is 89. This is the reason. One of the reasons we're running the 3-3-5 this year is we don't feel like we want to be starting Tyler Curry all the time, and instead we want to have 3 linebackers on the field at 85, 88, and 90, and then two corners, but safety is really where we want to be making sure we get safeties on the field at 87 and then 99, 91 between Powell and Jones. So 2 strong safeties on the field is really why we're doing the 3-3-5 and trying to bring the heat with these safeties here, as well as a solid kicker and an up and coming punter. Lonnie Clark is actually pretty similar, if a little bit lower rated than Williams. He's got more awareness, about the same speed and acceleration, but otherwise I'm not sure what the other stats differences are. They're going to be very similar. We know that Houston's going to run with this quarterback, as well as run with Mr. Barnes here, an impact player, 92, 96 speed, 99 acceleration. He is very fast, as is his friend right behind him, Mr. Carr. Fullback, 77, pretty decent fullback, but not great. Wide receiver, if we look, we see that Stevens gets catches. Ryan doesn't really get catches this year. George got catches in the last game. George Johnson. Hairston doesn't get catches, but Robertson definitely gets catches. So we're looking at the tight end getting the getting catches, and the first and third receivers getting catches. And then on an offensive line, we see an 84, an 85, a 92, an 88. And again, this looks pretty similar to Penn State's. Most of it in the mid-80s, with some guys who are higher to bulk it up in reinforcement. But there's no real weakness on this offensive line. The ends, 88 and 90. Again, very, very similar. A little bit better than Penn State's. This is where they're much better. They got 2 fantastic D tackles. Going to definitely be able to play a 4-man front and play it well. Linebackers, 81. 92 is an amazing middle linebacker. So strong in that sense. Definitely, strong at corner in the 80s through all 3. All fast. An 81 free safety and an 88 strong safety. They don't necessarily hit the same peaks that Penn State is hitting with its 99s that it's got a couple of, but they're definitely not weak. They're well rounded across the board at Houston. All right, so take a quick look at my coach skill tree, and I want to leave that where that is too. All right. So I'm going to turn the headset over to Coach Spectre and see about getting us kicked off in this first user game of the season.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We have a user game between the Houston Cougars, led by Cwac, versus the number 23 Penn State Nittany Lions, led by Coach King. Cwac and Ninja facing off for the first time in a couple of years here. Houston coming in with a deceptively good roster. You see the ratings there, 95, 97, 93. For an unranked team, Coach Cwac has landed well.
EA Sports. It's in the game. EA Sports. It's in the game. When it opened in 1960, it could seat 46,000, and since then, it's more than doubled in size. Beaver Stadium in State College, Pennsylvania is rocking.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an afternoon of football. We have a user game in League 1 action. Our crystal anniversary, the 10th season, Week 2 sees Cwac's Houston Cougars, unranked, but with a fine roster, facing off in Happy Valley in Beaver Stadium. The number 23 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions, coming off an opening game loss, a heartbreaker 27-21 to Ole Miss. Houston coming off an impressive 41-21 win over another user, USC, by Doc Jock. This will be Houston's second user game, Penn State's first. Both teams' second game of the season.
Quarterback brings his troops out onto the field for the first drive of the game. gets it. He's in space.
Howell with the catch. He gets the first down on the first play of the season. A 10-yard gain out to the right side. Sorry, for not first play of the season, first play of the game. As Houston has decided on their defense.
Ball on their own 35.
First and 10 from the 36-yard line.
Got some open field. They go to the left for
A little bit hairy there, but the pitch gets successfully pitched back for a positive gain. 5 yards off to the left side. Penn State opening up in the running game. We see a smattering there of Houston fans in the southeast corner of the stadium.
from their own 41-yard line. Second down.
Was right on target, so that took a perfectly timed hard-hitting knock.
It's third down and 5 to go. Ball on the 41. So an empty backfield with 5 wide receivers. Throws quick to the receiver and it falls incomplete.
Pickman was the intended receiver on the play. That'll bring up 4th and 5.
Holt is the punter.
Penn State with a decent punt there, deep into Houston territory. They're going to let it fall down into the end zone. And the Cougars are going to take over on their own 20-yard line early here in the first quarter.
So here comes the offense taking the field for the first time today. Brought down around the 31-yard line.
Bryson Barnes squirrels his way in between the nooks and crannies there and gets a positive gain on the first play for Houston's offense.
First and 10. Ball on their own 31. And that one's incomplete.
A little happy there in the pocket from Lonnie.
Find his rhythm back there and step and throw the football.
And he begins today 0 for 1.
It's 3rd and 10. Ball on the 31-yard line. 5 wide. Quick throw, incomplete.
Another incompletion from Lonnie Clark. He is 0 for 2, 0 for 3 on the day so far.
The offense really had nowhere to go on that one.
Houston now facing 4th and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Penn State will receive the punt here in the early going.
Hawkins is back to receive.
Oh, it's not.
He hits a low one there. Looking for the corner. Hawkins fields it at the 26.
Hawkins on the return up outside the 35-yard line to about the 37, where Penn State will take over the Nittany Lions here on the right hash mark. 1st and 10 in the first quarter. Both teams feeling each other out here in the early going.
I don't think either team has a clear advantage so far. Let's see if they can make some plays and get a little separation. And he's taken down.
Harrison with a 3-yard gain up the gut. Penn State will face 2nd and 7.
Second and 7. Ball on their own 40.
Houston brings a 4-man front and pressure. Penn State ready with an outlet pass out of the backfield. James Williams, 2nd completion on the day. He's 2 for 4 so far. As the Lions face 3rd and 2. 5 yards from the midfield stripe.
It's 3rd down, and they're about 2 yards shy of the sticks. He's at the 40. He's out of bounds.
Williams with a big gain to the right side, a 23-yard run down to the 32-yard line of the Cougars. Deep gash into Houston territory. On the read option, the defense bit hard on the halfback up the gut. Quarterback kept it and found space off the right side. They run the spot route to Hickman. He converts. First down. One to another. Right on down to the 22-yard line of the Houston Cougars.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 22. Straight run, and he's brought down in the backfield.
Harrison stopped for a loss of 1 as the Kansas City Chiefs scratch that. The Houston Cougars
They do just look just like them.
make the stop at the 23-yard line.
From the 23-yard line, 2nd down. it to him again. And he's tackled at the 18-yard line.
Williams with his 4th completion, making him 4 out of 6 on the day here in the first quarter. 3rd and 6 now in that medium range for yardage. The ball at the 18-yard line. Key play here in the early going. Penn State with a conservative call. The run up, the gut, the 2-yard gain. Puts the ball in the middle of the field on 4th and 4. That's going to set up for a kick right down the pipe and the early lead. That is a sea of white.
So the kicking team is on the field. They'll try for 3. Penn State could take the lead with this field goal. Kicks up, and it's
He nails it between the pipes. The first points belong to Penn State. They take a 3-0 lead here late in the first quarter. On defense now against Houston's shotgun set. Lonnie Clark gets sacked for a loss of 6. He has yet to complete a pass. He has yet to get a positive run. And you wonder at what point Houston is going to figure out how to move the ball on offense.
So the sack makes this a 2nd and long. Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. Got a man open and he can't pull it in.
An unlucky drop there. Reflective of the momentum of the times.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide. And he's immediately tackled.
They shut that drive down pretty emphatically.
Makes a tough catch, but 2 yards shy of the first down. And Houston set to kick. That's a shanked punt by Houston. That's going to give Penn State good field position out at their own 47. A lot of green behind them, but a lot of green in front of them still.
The defense was able to keep them out of the end zone on their last possession, but the offense did pick up 3. Penn State holds a field goal lead.
They come out in that shotgun big.
Stop at about the 45.
Well,
He gets stuck.
How will they respond after losing a couple on that run?
That'll set him up with a 2nd and 12. This might be the final play of the first quarter, depending on what look the defense gives. Penn State at their leisure has to run the play or wait. Shoestring tackle saves the touchdown. On the final play of the first quarter, Houston now going to take the ball over on the 29-yard line of the Nittany Lions. A big turnover in the early going. Penn State with the lead, but Houston now in position to narrow at the least. 29-yard line, already almost, if not in, field goal range. The screen pass out to the left side, and he's able to get almost 7, we'll call it 6 yards to the 23-yard line. 2nd and 4 now for the Cougars here in the beginning stages of the second quarter.
So it's 2nd down now. They need about 4 yards to pick up the first. Inside the 10.
The run up the gut by Barnes, a 13-yard scamper. His 2nd carry of the game, but he's got 24 yards here. That'll set him up with 1st and goal from the 10-yard line.
First down, and they've got their eyes on that goal.
Everybody gets a rest. They come out fully charged on both sides of the ball. Here we go. Great stick. Great stick on the play by number 50. Limits that to a 2-yard gain. We'll set up 2nd and 8.
It's 2nd and goal. Ball on the 8.
Lonnie audibles. And again. A 3rd audible. What'll it be? They're to call that a completion? No, an incompletion. Could have been 6 yards. Could have been a touchdown. Could have been an incompletion. It was the latter. It's now 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line. Bryson Barnes, an 8-yard catch, gives Houston the 6-3 lead here in the second quarter, awaiting the extra point. Here it comes. And Cwac and the Cougars lead 7-3 here in the early goings of the second quarter. We're coming to you live from Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, Beaver Stadium, 110,000 fans, and I'd say, Frank, about 107,000 of them are Penn State fans. It looks to be a tiny speck there in the corner with about 5 other guys here supporting the Houston Cougars. A huge home field advantage for the Nittany Lions. We'll see if they can put it to use as they come out here to give their response to Houston's touchdown drive following the turnover.
You know the offense will be looking to do better this time out.
And I don't think this defense will lay down lightly. They're going to try to continue to rattle this guy.
Tackle after a decent run up the gut.
Good stab in the center of the field for 6 yards. And that's Penn State a 2nd and 4.
They're about 4 yards away here on 2nd down. He's tackled at the 34.
3rd and 1 here.
3 yards on the carry.
107,000 anxious breaths await the 3rd and short.
Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 1. He makes it out to maybe the 36-yard.
He gets it comfortably. James Williams a 3-yard gain. More than he needed by about 18 to 20 inches. And Penn State now out to the 36-yard line. Another fresh set of downs to work with.
From their own 36-yard line. It's 1st down. And it looks like they're going to bring some heat. Brought down at the 45-yard line.
Harrison up the gut for 9 yards. Clearly not what the defense expected on that play. A good call by the offensive coordinator. Gives them a coach's dream. 2nd and 1.
It's 2nd down now. They're just a few feet away from that 1st down marker. Tackled after a decent pickup.
The fullback,
Run by the halfback. That'll be good
or
enough.
it looked like a fullback dive. It looks like Harrison, the halfback, got the carry straight up the gut. About 3 yards there, right into the heart of the Houston defense. Out almost to the midfield stripe, the 49-yard line.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on their own 49.
Penn State trailing 7-3 here, 3 minutes before the halftime whistle. Perfectly timed, set up the blocker beautifully. He breaks the tackle. Cole Robinson is in fact a 99 overall. Ladies and gentlemen, a monster play. That last play, all about the timing. Set up the blocker perfectly. Was able to break the tackle subsequent to the blocker. You put Cole Robinson in a one-on-one situation. It's going to take a special player to equal him, much less beat him.
With 1 quarter down, I really haven't seen too much separation.
10-7.
Might be neck and neck the whole way.
3:01 before the half. Houston runs the split set shotgun. the option off to the right side, but unable to make the read in time. The quarterback gets stuck. Lonnie Clark, not off to the brightest of starts today here in the first half, but plenty of time, and he is a fine player, ladies and gentlemen. I assure you, I suspect he will be on fire come third and fourth quarter. Nice throw there by Clark out to Barnes. So far, the most positive aspect of the Houston offense. Bryson Barnes, 3 catches for 27 yards, as well as several yards rushing. Out of the backfield, out of the slot. Bryson Barnes, the man of the hour for the Houston offense here in the early going.
First down.
Nice read, nice pass, nice route. Neil Ryan off to the right side. And another first down. That takes the Cougs out to the 43-yard line as Penn State comes out. In man coverage, makes the stick, limits the catch to a 2-yard gain.
That way he can allow his receivers to get downfield a little bit before he throws it.
Incompletion. If you're just joining us, Houston and Penn State locked in a battle here. Both sides punting once or twice in the early going, feeling each other out before Penn State took the 3-0 lead. Houston responded to the touchdown at 7-3, and Penn State made an incredible pass out to Cole Robinson, the tight end, perfectly timed to set up a wide receiver with a block, who then allowed Cole Robinson to be in a one-on-one situation. He broke the tackle and took it to the house for 70 yards or 60 yards. A monster play there by Houston keeps the drive alive.
Third down, and he got it for him.
46-yard line now, 1:42 before the half. Both teams, all 3 timeouts. We've seen some defense, we've seen some offense. What are we going to see next? It's the run up the gut, the man of the hour, Bryson Barnes, the entirety of the Houston offense to this point. Whether it's running the ball or receiving the ball, he's got at least 80% of Houston's offense. As you see, Lonnie Clark not necessarily warmed up. 8 out of 15 on the day. He's had some incompletions that have looked worse. He's had some incompletions that have been dropped after contact by the Penn State defense. For their part, Houston's defense has shown Penn State several different looks that have kept them stymied as well. We see ourselves locked in a tight struggle. John Stevens, the maybe second or third or fourth choice on that play, makes a heck of a play, keeps the drive alive. 29-yard line, 1st and 10, 1:18 remaining. We'll see what both teams come out here for this next play. Penn State with a 3-man front as per usual, the 3-3-5. Houston, a tight end stacked to the left, halfback to the left. Play action pass deep to the left side. Unbelievable catch by Neil Ryan. Holy cow. 29-yard touchdown play. The only solace for Lions fans is that it comes with 1 minute and 1 second left on the clock. 1 minute and 3 seconds left on the clock.
He makes the PAT.
But that doesn't take away the sting of a monster completion there
They line up to kick this
by the Cougars. That gives Houston the lead, 14-10 on the road here in Happy Valley.
This one's going to be down to
107,000 white and blue clad fans stunned, but not silent. You can hear the rumble.
The offense was able to punch it in the end zone on that last drive. They'll come back out looking for more of the same.
And it was a really nice drive, too, Brad. The quarterback got into a nice rhythm and did a good job of picking apart the defense.
An excellent second, third option on that play. The patience in the backfield. Penn State makes the completion. Starts the drive off right. First down at their own 40-yard line. Takes the safety valve 3 yards to Vincent Hickman, the star receiver. That's going to set them up with a 2nd and 7.
They'll line up with 5 wide receivers.
41 and ticking.
And that one's going to hit the ground. Incomplete.
Lacks the accuracy beyond the 12, 15-yard range. That's going to set up 3rd and 7. 30 and 33 seconds left. Penn State still with all 3 timeouts on their own 43-yard line, but they're going to need to convert here to get something out of this.
Third down now, and they need to get it out to the 50. And they make the stop around the 43-yard line. And he stops the clock.
The spike stops the clock. 28 seconds left. Penn State with the 3rd down conversion. The play prior you saw on the stick and nod out to the tight end over the middle of the field. They have time. They have time and timeouts.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43-yard line. There are 5 wide receivers split out. The quarterback in the gun.
Again, same thing.
Looking for his man, incomplete.
This quarterback needs to be careful not to use his arm strength to try to force
Quarterback at
it,
this
because
point,
that's when mistakes happen.
not dependable beyond 8 or 9 yards, causing difficulties for Penn State's offense. They now face 3rd and 10. 24 seconds on
Third down
the
now, they
clock.
down to the 33. 5 wide. Tackle made.
Still accurate at 12 yards. Penn State gets the 3rd down conversion.
You've got the defense
21 seconds remaining. They take the timeout. A wise call there by the coaching staff. Going to give them a chance to catch their breath and think about the next play. 26-yard line, left hash mark, and driving.
Here's the 8th play of the series.
could have gone to one of two guys. Either one would have gotten the first down. One of them did. Down to the 6-yard line, 7-yard line. We'll call it a short 7. 16 seconds left before the half. Penn State using their second timeout. They've got one remaining and presumably a couple of shots into the end zone. You can even call a running play with the timeout remaining. You've got options here if you're the Lions. 5 wide over the middle to Hickman. He's tackled. Penn State's forced to use their third and final timeout. They're going to have at least one shot into the end zone with 11 seconds to go on the 1-yard line. Houston coming out in the goal line set. Audibles. Penn State in the shotgun. Wide trips. That is going to be the first half. They run the read option. Houston's ready for it. Makes the tackle. The perfect call by the Houston defense keeps the 4-point lead for the Cougars.
Our color commentator taking a quick break before the half. Give us just a second. And we will resume in 5 minutes. Calvin's asked her 8 minutes. I told him okay, but I don't want to wait too long.
Right. You've got your own thing going on.
Yeah. I should have. I was thinking about the audible to the middle slant when I saw him come out in the goal line. I didn't.
Situation like that, you can't risk getting tackled short. It's got to be a throw into the end zone.
Well, at 1 yard, it would have been a throw into the end zone.
No, in 1 yard.
I mean, I was on the 1 yard. The drag would have been in the end zone. The slant.
Oh, drag?
That.
You're talking about with the drag, with the slot drag, with the halfback coming out of the backfield?
No, I'm talking about the middle slant from at 11 seconds instead of the read option.
Oh, out of the 5-1?
Yeah.
Not going with the wide trips?
Audibling to the middle slant from the wide trips.
Okay.
Instead of that. Because I saw him come out the goal line.
Gotcha. Yes, correct.
I thought about it and didn't do it, and I should.
With 11 seconds, was it 11?
Yeah.
You conceivably, if they were quick, you could have even gotten 2 passes off.
Yeah.
If they were into the end zone.
Yeah, no, I should have done that. I was trying. I was thinking, do I have enough time if I get the run? If I do the run to get a kicking team on the field?
Situations like that are that close, word wise.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of learning the most that you can out of this situation. My best suggestion that I can give you would be to say,
game now as we start the second half.
Stevens to return.
And he got all of this one. Great.
5 yards deep into the end zone, the second half kick.
He's to the 10.
Houston with the 14 lead and the ball to start the second half.
They'll take over here, ready to start a new series. Houston is up 4. Fires out to his wideout.
Houston with the slant route. The X-receiver from left to right across the middle of the field gets the completion out to the 44-yard line to get this third quarter kicked off.
First down, 10 to go. Ball on the 44-yard line. Takes it up the middle for a nice run. Barnes picks up 5 with the carry.
Barnes with 5 yards up the middle.
Brings up 2nd and 5.
Bringing up 2nd and 5. Houston out to their own 49-yard line. Barnes up the gut, rips open a gap for a solid 8 yards. Down to the 42-yard line.
From the 42-yard line, it's first down.
Incompletion over the middle. That's going to be 2nd and long, 2nd and 10 for the Houston Cougars. 6:02 remaining in the third quarter. Out at the 42-yard line of the Nittany Lions.
Incomplete pass. Bryant was the intended receiver on the play. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Second down and 10 to go. Ball on the 42. Houston is up by 4. Under pressure, and he's set.
Penn State brings the house. And Houston's Lonnie Clark goes down for the sack. It's 3rd and 17.
And that hit, really got to be wondering what kind of relationship this quarterback with his offense.
Right near the midfield stripe. We see Houston with 5 wide receivers in the huddle.
Third down, and they need to get it down to the 32. So an empty backfield with 5 wide receivers.
Intercepted by Powell. The star safety makes the pick near midfield. Penn State's going to take over, down by 4. But with excellent starting field position out at their own 44-yard line here in the third quarter.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on their own 44. Tackled after decent pickup. Harrison picks up about 4 yards on the play.
That makes it 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6. Ball on the 48-yard line.
Check 50. Check 50. Ready. Line 80. Check 9. Check 9. Check 9. Check 9.
Fires quickly, and he's got his man.
Hickman gets tripped up, otherwise he'd have gotten more, but he winds up at the 33, 34-yard line. They're going to call it the 35. Penn State pops a big one there. Nearing scoring range.
From the 35-yard line. First down.
Let's go. Check 26. Check 26.
They come out in the I formation. They pass out to Cole Robinson on the corner route. He's down to the 9-yard line. A big 26-yard gain.
Well, that was just a well-executed play. They picked the perfect
Down to the 9-yard line.
defense with a passing play. And it
Cole Robinson coming up big once again for the Nittany Lions.
First down, and they've got their eyes on that goal line.
Check 26. Check 26. Check 26.
He's got it with room to run.
Howell down to the 1-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
He read the coverage perfectly to find his
Howell's
man
gotten a
for
couple of
good yardage.
catches this game. We're approaching the halfway point of the third quarter.
It's 2nd and goal. 1 yard to the goal line. This defense not wanting to give an inch here.
The goal line defense can't stop
This kid is a
the ISO.
weapon.
Harrison up the gut.
Ball in his hands near the end zone, and he showed you why.
And Penn State takes the lead for the first time since 3-0.
So the kicker will line up here and try to give it a 3-point lead with this effort. Penn State holds a 2-point lead.
Houston now with a chance to respond out at their own 25-yard line, facing a 1st and 10 with 3:33 remaining here in the third quarter, and trailing by 3.
Let's see what he does here.
And we'll see how aggressive this defense is when they come back out. I wouldn't be surprised if they kept up the pressure to try to fluster this quarterback some more.
Barnes up the gut, gets him 3 yards. That'll be 2nd and 7.
That'll make it 2nd and 7.
From their own 28-yard line. It's 2nd down.
Penn State out of the 3-3-5. Houston in the shotgun with one tailback in the backfield. They run motion into the backfield. They run the trap up the gut, but Penn State is there, stuffs them for a loss. It'll be 3rd and 8. And Houston is searching for ideas. Incomplete.
There was just no way anybody could catch
Houston's
up.
going to be forced to punt here in their own territory in the third quarter in a 3-point game. You imagine that Penn State's going to be getting the ball back here. 27-yard line, the line of scrimmage for the Cougars. And no other option but to.
Hawkins back to return it. And he's taken down at the 45. Made a few guys miss on his way to a quality return. Points and a pretty display of passing was a result of their last drive. Kirk, do you expect the defense to take a different approach?
45-yard line. Penn State out in the shotgun big.
It already seems like whatever this defense is trying just isn't working. But maybe if they add just a little bit more pressure, they might be able to
Incomplete.
force them to a mistake.
That's going to be 2nd and 10. 2:13 remaining here in the third quarter.
From their own 45-yard line. 2nd down. Penn State is up a field goal.
Penn State out in the shotgun wide trips back to pass. Deflected by the Houston defense. A user swat. Covering the middle of the field. The pass not exactly where Penn State wanted it to be. It's going to be 3rd and long out at the 45-yard line.
Third down now, and they need to get it inside the 45. Quick pass.
Robinson over the middle, the man of the hour. The 3rd down conversion. The 99 tight end. We've got a stoppage in play. Looks like Houston's going to make a couple of adjustments here. "34-yard line, we see 1st and 10. Penn State with a 3-point lead. 2:05 remaining in the third quarter.
From the 34-yard line. 1st down. Penn State is up by 3.
Penn State comes out in the shotgun big. It's the quarterback keeper. Down to the 15, the 10, the 5, the touchdown, Penn State.
That was simply sensational running, and it shows you what kinds of magical things can happen when you have a good running game.
Penn State breaking a big one to take a 2-score lead here in the second half. 1:41 remaining. Houston needs to put something together now.
There's got to be some sense of urgency to this offense right now. They don't have the luxury of wasting drives if they want to get back in the game. They spread the field in the gun with 5 wide receivers. Under pressure, zipped it out, and that was almost picked off.
I'm not sure the quarterback saw him when he was getting ready to pass because he stuck his paw right in the passing lane.
A little bit of inaccuracy there by the Houston quarterback on the run. Cwac hasn't had a real chance to truly heat up this game for the Houston offense. So now here in the late going, not able to make those clutch throws on the run.
15-yard line. It's second down. They'll line up with 5 wide receivers. Tries to thread the needle, and it's not going to work.
That's going to be intercepted.
25.
Penn State gives it up the gut. Houston can't do much to stop it. And the Nittany Lions now facing first and goal, ahead by 10, and appearing in complete control of this football game here in the third quarter.
Tackle made around the 8-yard line. A 1-yard gain by the halfback.
Houston sends 2 linebackers up the gut. They're able to clean up the mess. Force Penn State into a second goal from the 8-yard line.
We've got second and goal. 8 yards out. Fires out quickly to the tailback. They'll bring him down right around the 4-yard line.
Call it a gain of 4 yards. That makes it third and goal.
Here we go. Third and goal from the 3-yard line.
It's going to be third and goal here in the final play of the third quarter.
So with 1 quarter. Let's see if he can shake off that pick that he tossed last time out.
The first rule on offense is to take care of the football. These guys need to remember that on this drive.
Throws quick to the receiver, and it falls incomplete.
Ryan, the intended receiver on the play. That makes it 2nd and 10.
Second and 10. Ball on the 14-yard line. Trying to get it to the tight end, but it falls to the ground.
We see over and over again the accuracy, pass accuracy for Houston failing here in the fourth quarter. Having not been warmed up really for any length of time during the football game.
We've got 3rd and 10. Ball on the 14. They come out in a 5-wide set. And he's tackled around the 24-yard line.
Smith makes the tackle at the 24-yard line. First down.
First and 10. Ball on their own 24. They'll spread the field here. Let's see what the defense does with a 5-wide outlook. He's hit and taken down.
I'm really liking what I see from this guy. He's not afraid to go to the air on any down.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide. Throws incomplete, intended for his wideouts.
These guys just don't seem to be on the same page, and they're going to have to be if they expect to win this game.
So it's 2nd and 10. Ball on their own 37. 5 wide. Throws incomplete.
Great play here by the linebacker in zone coverage. You know, one of the toughest things on a linebacker is a lot of times you want to make sure you're getting enough depth to be able to avoid those crossing routes that can get behind you, and also respect maybe the running back or tight end in front of you. So you're kind of feeling things out behind you and in front of you and kind of surveying that land to be able to make a play. Here I think he got a little tip from the quarterback's eyes to be able to make that play on the football.
So we're looking at another 3rd down here. They come out in an empty backfield. Hawkins is back deep to return. He gets it away, and this is a really nice punt. And he makes it out to about the 31-yard line.
Welcome, Lecky. We are in Season 10, the Crystal Anniversary, Season 10 of League 1 action. We've got a user game. Cwac's Houston Cougars facing off against Ninja's 23rd ranked Penn State Nittany Lions. 6:12 remaining in the game. We're in Week 2, Season 10. Here in the Shotgun Big. The 3-4 set from the Houston Cougars. A lot of bodies in the backfield. equals a loss of 2. 6:04 and counting. The clock ticking down. Houston running out of options, but playing well against that option. Leaky Ninja is Penn State. I am Coach Spectre of Washington State. This is League One action. We've got Houston unranked, led by Cwac, against Penn State, led by Coach Ninja. Myself, Coach Spectre, on the microphone doing the play-by-play as these two users face off here in Week 2 of League 1, Season 10. Howell, the wide receiver slash tight end, the H-back coming out of the backfield. A huge, monstrous gain down to the 44-yard line as Penn State breaks one wide open.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on the 44.
Penn State content to let seconds drip off of the clock. Ahead by 17. No need to rush here. They run it up the heart of the defense. They get 4.5 yards. We'll call it 4. 2nd and 6 now for the Nittany Lions. Looking to close out this game in front of 107,000 white-clad Penn State rabid fans and supporters. A small pocket there in the southwest corner of the stadium you see for the Houston Cougars. A few thousand fans there off to the right of the screen. Another double tight end set, sees a run up the gut. Another 1st down for the Nittany Lions. Lucky, a lot of us have other dynasties. A lot of us play in other dynasties. This is the most important dynasty for us. This is League 1, a dynasty of friends, real life friends. We're playing on Heisman, of course, with Operation Sports sliders jacked up to the most difficult possible levels. We've got 0 running back ability, 0 pass block ability. The defense and the offense for the computer both completely jacked up. ISO run up the gut. 1 yard by Penn State. 3:38 and dripping off of the clock. Penn State trying to close out this user game. Ninja, the coach of Penn State, taking on Cwac, the coach of Houston, here in Season 10, the crystal anniversary of League 1. Coming to you live from Happy Valley, 107,000 white-clad Penn State fans cheering on the Nittany Lions here in Week 2 action. If you weren't with us earlier, number 3 Washington State, coached by yours truly, defeated number 18 UCLA 26-21.
And he hits him hard at the 21.
The H-back, Howell, coming off of the tight end 2 position there. The twin tight end set, but with a wide receiver there as a second tight end. A little bit of an extra agility there off of the catch and run. Getting a couple of yards off the catch.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 21. Just under 3 to go in regulation.
2:53. Houston's got to be desperate at this point, down by 17. Cwac, what's he dialing up? He's got 4. He's got a 4-man front. Stacked to the left side. Penn State out in the shotgun big. They run the option. It's stuffed. Houston with too many bodies.
That's their first of the half.
2nd and 13 now on the 24-yard line. As Penn State looks to escape with a comfortable win.
From the 24-yard line. Second down.
Penn State coming out in the shotgun set. They're going to tie it into the right side, halfback to the left. Houston with a four-man front. And they get there. The four-man front working for Houston. Penn State once again getting tackled for loss. It's going to be 3rd and 20 from the 32-yard line. You start to wonder about what is the range of the Penn State kicker, what the importance is of a field goal here. You've got 2:33. If you're the coach of Penn State or if you're the coach of Houston, what you might want to do in this situation on either side of the football. Makes for an interesting play here at 3rd and 20. The pass rush by Houston stuffs the Penn State offense. It's 4th and 20. Penn State at the 32-yard line.
It looks like they're going to try for the long
Out with the kicker.
A little more than 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Nails the kick. Couldn't ask much more out of the kicker on that situation. It's a 34-14 lead, 2:25 remaining in the football game. Houston will look to receive the kickoff. They need 3 touchdowns, at least one onside kick. They've only got 1 timeout remaining. To say the odds are long would be a stretch. Looks like a face mask there on the tackle. It's not going to matter much. It's going to be 15 yards out to the 30-yard line.
Well, the guys are chomping at the bit down there, waiting for the game to start back up. They'll line up with 5 wide receivers. He goes out of bounds. The 39-yard line. Nice pick.
9-yard out route. It'll be 2nd and 1, 2:19 remaining.
Reading the defense properly, and the result is a nice game.
Quarterback all by himself in the backfield with 5 wideouts. Strike to his receiver, no good.
You know, Brad, this is
Incompletion there. Houston facing 3rd and 1.
maybe every other member of this offense. The wide receiver, if he's smart, will come up to that.
Lucky I'm not too familiar with the Compass Bowl.
To the next play.
I'm excited that you might get the number 2 quarterback. And I've actually been to Miami of Ohio, covered a game there, Marshall versus the Red Hawks. 5 wide receivers for Houston. They get the first down. It's going to be just across the 50-yard line.
Most times you don't need much more than that.
Just over 2 minutes in the game.
Out to the 44-yard line of Penn State. Houston driving. A little zigzag route, and it's going to be another first down back-to-back.
They'll spread the field with 5 wide.
1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Houston trying to make a football game out of this. There's only 2:02 remaining. It's going to be difficult treading there for them as they try to stage a valiant fight back. The odds don't look in their favor, though.
That makes it 2nd and 2.
tight coverage there down to the 12-yard line. Houston trying to get into the end zone. 135, 136 and counting. Out of the 12.5, 13-yard line. Almost intercepted. Both teams looking to catch their breath here. That'll allow me the opportunity to answer your question, Lackey. The biggest game that I have announced was Marshall defeating number 6 Kansas State in Manhattan, Kansas, back when Darren Sproles was the tailback for the Kansas State Wildcats. They came into the game with quarterback L. Roberson leading a vicious read option attack. That was back when Byron Leftwich was the quarterback for Marshall. But here, Houston at the 12, looking to pass. It's into tight coverage. That's going to be a first down. An ill-advised pass. Double, if not triple coverage. Houston survives it, but 127, not a lot of time here. Not a lot of time. Way off target there for the Cougars.
The receiver was wide open. There was no need to rush that one at all.
Penn State obviously wants to keep this to as many downs as possible. The more time off the clock, the better. Even if Houston scores, every extra down, an extra few ticks off of that clock. Touchdown, Houston. That's going to pull them to within 13, awaiting the extra point, 14 at this current moment.
Who's as good a receiver as this young man is.
Licky, I enjoy Wisconsin football. Tailback University, as I like to refer them. The Badgers have a long history of excellent running backs. It's going to be a 2-point conversion naturally. Houston trying to draw within 12. Comes out in the shotgun. Halfback to the left side with the tight end to the left as well. Houston in the quarter bear. It's going to be complete and man coverage. A 12-point, 34-22 game. But only 1:22 remaining on the clock. Penn State still in a greatly advantageous position. We see the onside kick here for the Houston Cougars. Desperation mode for Cwac. Penn State recovers. And with only one timeout, Penn State needs but one more first down to salt this game away.
They'll come back out with some confidence from having put through the field goal last time. They'll bring him down at the 43-yard line. Houston's called their final timeout.
That makes it 2nd and 8.
From the 43-yard line, it's 2nd down. A little over a minute.
Shotgun wide trips for the Nittany Lions here on 2nd and 8. Houston down to their last gasp. Penn State needs one first down to salt this game away. We'll see if they can get it right here. The read option out to the right side. He gets upended. Feet overhead. It'll be 3rd and 5 as that clock continues to tick away. 1:01. 60 seconds remaining. Penn State with a 2-score lead. Houston with 0 timeouts remaining. 3rd down and 5.
3rd and 5 situation. Ball on the 40-yard
The Cougars hoping for a miracle. It's going to be a first down. He hangs on to the football, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the ball game. Penn State's going to be able to take knees. We're going to see the victory formation out of the 30-yard line. Penn State 34-22. Penn State calls a timeout with 5 seconds left. Looked like maybe just a little trigger happy there on that last play. Didn't quite want to go ahead and kick the field goal. Not looking to rub salt into any wounds. With great respect for the coaching staff of the Houston Cougars, Penn State's going to come out here in the victory formation. Take their knee. Call it a ball game. Take the 12-point win. 34-22. A well-fought battle between Houston and Penn State. Between Cwac and Ninja. Week 2, Season 10, League 1 in the books. This weekend's doubleheader between Washington State and Penn State. A couple of excellent football games. You can join us next week as we have, for the first time of your enjoyment, Penn State versus Washington State. Coach Ninja versus Coach Spectre. A user game to end all user games. We're hoping to get Coach Cwac up into town, the Houston coach, to hopefully do play-by-play for that game. It's going to be a firecracker, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be two coaching allies facing off against each other for bragging rights for early season supremacy as two top 25 teams take the field head-to-head for the first time in several seasons, for the first time since League 1 went online. We're going to wrap up here and hope to see you next weekend. We'll have the reminder out there for that football game. Once again, possibly the game of the year, Coach Ninja versus Coach Spectre, next weekend here on this Twitch channel. Stay advised for updates.